What's up, y'all? Hello from Bali. It still feels surreal that within a few hours you can be in a completely different space, climate, time zone. Um, it still feels like time travel and it'll never get old to me. This background is in a gorgeous villa. Shout out to the chick. I'm gonna shout her out once I leave this place because I don't want y'all to know where I'm staying right now. But this is a beautiful villa, and when she saw my booking come through, she was like, "Wait, I know her." And we were both travel bloggers at the same time, and yeah, it was really cool for her to be like, "Oh, wow, like it's an honor for you to like, yeah, just I love supporting small business owners. I love it even more when those business owners come from the same industry that I came from. So it's really cool to support her. And this is a beautiful place, like arranged a complimentary massage for me, just tea, kombucha, cut up fruit, breakfast. I'm just, when I tell you, the first few hours, I could not contain my excitement, not just for being back in Bali and how much of a reset to your nervous system it is, but to but to know that this type of treatment is available to everyone and anyone who takes a chance to explore something outside of their home country. And that's why I wanted to make this video. If you are wanting to move to somewhere in Asia, uh, like where do you start in your research? And kind of the difference between living in Europe versus living in Asia. And I'm using continental references for reference, continental references because I stay in multiple countries in Europe and multiple countries in Asia. So instead of individually naming them, I'm kind of like, bringing them together. But I will specify if it comes to something specific about that country. Blah, blah, blah. Disclaimers aside, I have lived tricontinentally and bicontinentally for the last 3 years. When Stefan and I started dating, we were long distance, and much of our dates and dating experience happened in different countries. And so I actually really enjoyed that. So for those that are like maybe, I don't know, you've been out of the dating game and I don't know, no one in your city is really stimulating you. I highly recommend dating while you travel or doing long distance dating. Now, if you are coming out of a traumatic situation where you were cheated on or you don't trust the person you're dating, it's going to be a completely different experience. But trustworthy people, I don't know, it's you wouldn't get into a situation if you knew you couldn't trust the person if you when you were away from them. So you shouldn't be dating them to begin with. So this is just for people that, can handle long distance. Anyways, tangent. Let's start with Europe. So I'm coming off of 3 months. Let's see, June, July, August. Yeah, over a little over 3 months of being in Europe. And my favorite part about Europe and why the European continent they do summer so good. There is not a single place I want to be in the world except Europe during summers. A European summer is elite for many reasons. And I think the reason it was my first 20 countries of international travel were European countries. It's incredibly affordable. It's incredibly diverse in terms of you can go from Ireland to Romania and it's the same continent, but a completely different culture and food and customs. And I love that feeling of getting on a bus for 2 or 3 hours and knowing that you're going to hop into a completely different world. So, someone with ADHD, someone who thrives off of novelty and change, I love this process of constantly dipping my toes in different places where I get to kind of, and I don't want to say this flippantly, but like try on the culture, meaning the food, the way of living, and just observe, be a fly on the wall as a part of how people exist. And I also tell people that a lot of my adult travel, like over 30 travel, is much slower than how I did it in my 20s. My travels in my 20s were so fast because I legitimately thought this would be the only time I'd ever be able to afford to. So I might as well pack on 3 countries in 3 days, which I did. Oh my gosh. I did Spain to Morocco to Portugal and then back to London when I studied abroad. It was a long weekend, like a 3-day weekend, and I knocked out everything that I desired to. And of course, I traveled carry on. I had a backpack and a purse. And that type of travel, and I stayed in hostels and I couch surfed. That type of travel is so obnoxious. I think I spent 100 euros or like let's say US dollars total for all three countries in those 3 days. Like that's how, yeah, I was so. Anyways, for over 30, I like to take my time now. And I also like to not have an agenda. I know there are some places where if you go there, I mean, you have to see it. If you've never been to Paris, you go to Paris, you have to take a picture or at least a selfie with the Eiffel Tower. It's just for the culture. It's just, oh, I realized I ordered cookies. Let me make sure. It's just gonna be funny if the cookies get delayed. Oh, my cookies were canceled. It's raining, so I can respect that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order something else. I feel like that's a sign. You know what, God, I didn't need those cookies. There's these dang cookies, literally called DANG in Bali. They have me in the chokiest of chokeholds. Every time I come here, I gain weight because I eat those cookies too many times. And so it's my first full day. What do? I order the cookies. And what happens? The cookies get canceled. And you don't got to tell me twice. If you're trying to tell me something, God, I will listen to the cancellation and I will order a poke bowl or something else. Okay, we're back. So I don't have an agenda, but you're going to, Paris, you take a picture with the Eiffel Tower. But if you think that every single city has this like obnoxious list of must-do experiences, it's called marketing. There is nothing, when I think about the 100 countries that I've been to and the experiences and the activities and the excursions that I've done, rarely have I walked away and said, oh, this must be done. Like, I can count 10, maybe 10 countries and 10 excursions where I was like, oh yeah, everybody has to do this. You go to Peru, you got to see Machu Picchu. That's incredible. It's just, wow, it's crazy. You go to Egypt, you got to see the pyramids. Like there are the staples. The seven wonders of the world are wonders for a reason. So yes, I'm a proponent and an advocate for checking those off. But other than that, just exist. Just stroll the streets. Just get a gelato on a Tuesday afternoon and enjoy being in a random city halfway across the world from your hometown. I just like the experience of existing, getting a coffee on a corner cafe and watching across the park people just engaging with each other while I journal my thoughts and feelings or read a new book. I'm really, it's such a self-care thing. It's such a self-love thing. But yeah, there's no more must-do pressure that I travel with. And because of that, my travels are so slow, but maybe they're so much more enriching, I think. So Europe is for the slow travel. It's for the lollygagging, the dilly-dallying, the nothingness. And if you are someone that is coming out of the corporate space and you've put in your time, sis. You have worked, you have capital, you have cup, you have capital W worked all your life. It's time to rest. It's time to relax. It's time to take your adult gap year, a creative sabbatical for 3 months. Go to Europe and frolic. Go to Europe and flirt. Like, I don't know. I think Europeans, if you're watching this and you're American, I think it's not a secret that I think Europeans are more flirtatious and forward than Americans, except the Brits. The Brits are very reserved and you have to like read games. You have to read their mind and they play a lot of mind games. But I think European men are much more open, direct, and forward in professing their affection for someone that they desire. And it's not just about physicality and looks, but genuine. a genuine expressive interest of pursuing you or courting you. And in many European cultures, at least Eastern European cultures, there is no dating multiple women and pursuing multiple women. It's like, I'm pursuing you because I desire you. So if I go out with you once, the public perception is that we are a unit, we are together. And I think that does something to how, I don't know, culturally people show up. Like you see that type of behavior, there's like, oh, they're not afraid of commitment. And I'm not speaking for all, but you see that and you can kind of respect how it shows up in other areas of European culture. So I say all that to say, of course, no place is perfect and there will be racists everywhere. What a disclaimer. What a hard pivot. But yeah, just you're not going to Europe to escape, any pain or loss or grief that you feel. It's to just fully sit in your feelings and to have a pretty background while you do that. So yeah, Europe is for relaxation and rest and regrouping and recovery. And I always love, like, I would say my top, I've always said the Balkans are the most beautiful, it's the most beautiful region and it has the most beautiful countries in Europe. So my favorite Balkan countries, Montenegro, I think Croatia after this visit, I think Croatia moved to the top, which is crazy because I've been to Croatia so many times and I'm not sure how this time I was like, okay, Croatia. The last time I went was during the pandemic. Yeah, like I think things after 3 months of being locked down, I think Croatia was like the only place still allowing Americans. It was Croatia, London, and the Maldives. So who went to all three? Your girl, because I was feeling trapped in the US. But Croatian Airbnbs were also like 70% off. So it was really cool to be able to stay at really nice places for prices that I wouldn't normally pay. So yeah, I just really enjoyed getting to experience Croatia from the pandemic perspective, which was like completely empty, which was amazing, and seeing it now full of life and vibrant. And yeah, just a deeper appreciation. So I would say Croatia, Montenegro, Bosnia, Albania, Serbia. Those are my top five. And yeah, I have been probably, when you look at all of Europe, I have frequented the Balkans the most amount of times. So it actually really makes sense that my husband is Balkan because I was there for the longest amount of time. Um, yeah, so I would say that's where most summers I think I'll be in that area. And then when it comes to Asia, obviously many of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I've come to Bali every year, multiple times a year for the last decade. I'm on my 43rd visit. I really got to count my visa stamps because I mean, this year alone, I've come here. This is my fourth time coming here this year, which is really crazy to think about. April, la 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 la. Yeah, it's my fourth visit this year, which just goes to show, like every year I'm visiting 4, 5, or 6 times, and even I count my visa runs. So even a visa run, I'm counting that as a visit. So yeah, Bali is a great place for, similarly to Europe, it allows you to reset, relax, focus on yourself, get back to better habits, and not feel guilty about it. What I most appreciated about Bali is that as the person in many people's lives who I think like I tend to be the one that's like I'm the go-to friend for resources, the go-to friend for questions, the go-to friend for encouragement. And I'm not complaining at all. I love being that. And I think what Bali does is it replenishes me to continue showing up in the world, showing up for my clients, showing up for family and friends in this abundant and joyful way. If I was constantly depleted or constantly triggered, oh, no. I was like, is that my friend? I don't think she doesn't land for another hour. Let me check. There's a villa next door. Yeah, I was like, I did not get my times wrong. I know that's right. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so I'm hosting a mastermind here in Bali tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow. The days are just a blur. And it's incredible because all the women attending I've worked with in some capacity. And so it almost feels like a friends reunion, which is really cool that there's sometimes so much blurred lines, like friends turning to clients, clients turning to friends. It's always an interesting crossover. But yeah, so it feels like I literally get to hang out with friends all weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. Good food, good laugh, good creativity, good content, productivity, brainstorming, dreaming. Like, this is what I could do this all day. There's an echo that I just clocked. Okay. What I was saying, Bali is Bali is great for the maybe the mothering that many of us didn't get as children. When we think about our inner child and just the chaos of us not being understood, us maybe, for those of us with undiagnosed ADHD, you really need Bali. As Bali mothers and nurtures you in a way that you probably never received before. And it's also, you don't feel guilt about it. I think for many years, I couldn't receive because I didn't feel worthy of receiving. So if you tried to give me something or offer me something, I always rejected it. And I realized it came from a place of self-hatred because there was so much conditioning of me not being enough, of something being wrong with me, of me being too loud, too much, too this, too that. And so I internalized all of that messaging as a kid. And I was like, yeah, I suck. And that's what I see and hear around me. So I'd be a fool to not believe it. So I had to really get to a place where I loved myself enough to believe that people were giving me something from a place of love and not manipulation, because that's also another thing, especially if you come from an ethnic culture. Sometimes things are given to manipulate and control you. So I had a lot of trust issues around, well, are you giving me this because you're going to throw it in my face later? Or, so Bali, you can receive openly, abundantly, endlessly, and it just feels so good. And my way of giving back every time I come to Bali is speaking the language. I'm a little rusty. I haven't spoken Balinese in, like 5 months, Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesian, but every time I come back and I can speak a few sentences and just joyfully greet them in their native tongue, it's a really good feeling. So now that I'm back in Asia, I'm gonna re-pick up my Bahasa Indonesia and my Thai lessons, and I use preply.com, preply.com. I'll drop a 70% discount code in the product video description below if you want to try them out. I've been using that website for 4.5 years to learn languages. I'm on my fifth language, and I'm at a place now where I'm like, yeah, you can give me flashcards and apps, but I need a human speaking to me and correcting me in real time. So I love, like, using tutors as my way of continuing my language journey. God willing, I'll be able to speak 10 languages by the time I'm 40. So it's really cool to put myself in the environment where I learn, like I do a lesson and then I go out in the world and I can actually use what I'm learning. Okay, so let's say Europe is like, no, Glow, I'm not trying to rest. I'm trying to come here and work. Okay, Bali, you might want to skip it. If you are like ready to be creatively inspired and build and produce and launch and create, Bali is great. But what Stefan and I realized a little too late, to be honest, because we tried to launch a few things in Bali and we always had came up against, like, I don't know what to call it. It's not laziness, but hmm, sun, because we would come here doing during really warm and beautiful weather months, but sun drains you. Like being exposed to sun constantly drains you. Being exposed, I mean, island life is also not the most conducive to ambition. Excuse me. So we had to recognize, as much as we love Bali, it was a place where we go to rest and relax and enjoy life, but not to work. And so we're mindful of the times that we come here and the times that we step back and yeah, like actually work, which leads me to Bangkok. Bangkok is what I believe to be the best of both worlds. You have a combination of, let's say, I don't know, New York or LA. You are attracted to the big city life, the ambitious creatives that live in New York and LA. Bangkok has that. And then you mix it with the peace of Bali. So Bangkok feels like New York and Bali, their love child. It's like it Bangkok feels so futuristic to the point of overwhelm. Sometimes I'm like, I gotta take a step back or I gotta stay inside for the next 3 business days because I'm so overstimulated by all that there is to do in Bangkok. There was even an article that came out and said if you want to try every restaurant in the city of Bangkok, it would take you 64 years if you ate at a different one every single day. That level of like there is so much to do, so much to see, so much to eat. You can never get bored. There's entertainment in every color, shape, size, capacity, form. And it's incredible to see the extent of human creativity. So I'm so inspired whenever I'm in Bangkok, but I'm also so rested. I can have by the text of a button text of a number. I can have a massage therapist. Um, and I think they do treatments up until 10 p.m. because I like to go to bed about 11 midnight. Um, Especially when I'm in Asia, I tend to be 12 hours ahead of the East Coast. So I don't want to miss too much of the daytime cycle of the US. So sometimes stay up till midnight. And I can come have someone, they can do a manicure, they can do a pedicure, they can do um, a massage treatment. Eh, Just everything can be booked and done and coordinated so conveniently. It makes you feel like, how could I ever stress when I have all this support around me? And this level of support and it's like I need a village and I don't have kids. So I can't even imagine the level of support needed as a mother. And like this is just me operating as an individual and booking support for just me as a human to be able to function the way I do. And it's just so available. It's so available, it's so accessible. The BTS, which is like the train line next to me, has also a beauty salon. So if at 2 a.m. I want to get my lashes done, I don't even have to step outside. I can just go down the subway or the train station. So yeah, I'm just really inspired by the ways that they have made, I don't know, convenience like a, convenience is luxurious, but it's not excessive. Oh, that's good. Convenience in the US always felt excessive. Convenience in Asia feels luxurious and elevated and like, no, you deserve this. Like, why would you not have this? So I just really appreciate that. And then my favorite part of living in Bangkok is just their culture of honesty. So I order food delivery quite often. In Bangkok, I you would be hard pressed to see people cook. Like I'm saying expats, immigrants, like I I don't know, I'm gonna call myself an immigrant to Bangkok. But yeah, I think many of us realize that it not only saves you time, but it's just easier, you know. And food, if you want to eat out, it's so easy and convenient and just very affordable. So yeah, if you're traveling a lot as well, you don't always want to buy groceries because then things will go expire or go rotten in the fridge. So yeah, you're ordering food delivery and there's a space for food delivery people to just drop your bag in a cubby and then they send you a picture of the number cubby that your food has been delivered. And that's how I do my grocery shopping, that's how I do my food delivery. And the fact that you could see something that I don't know, looks expensive and like people won't touch it. Granted, there are cameras and like, we have security guards like policing our building, but more so they're just like friendly doormen. It feels like I live in like a Ritz-Carlton building. It feels like I live in a 5-star resort. Like the level of security, access, accommodation, uh, the elevated feel, the lobby, everything looks like I'm living in, I don't know, like with millionaires. And that does something to your, take a breath because, oh, it does something to your sense of belief. It does something to your confidence. It does something to your self-worth. It does something to your value. It does something to, I don't know, your future. You no longer question whether you deserve things because you see how openly it can be accessed. And I'm mindful that even at this level of luxury, um, it's not available and accessible like that to everyone, especially locals. And so I'm mindful that I'm speaking from a place of, I don't want you to come and just like, you know, there's financial geo arbitrage, bringing your strong currency and not doing anything about it, not doing anything to benefit the places that you are wanting to move and live. And that's why I am a proponent of like, if you are going to come here, learn the language. If you are going to come anywhere, if you're going to travel anywhere for the purpose of saving money, living a better life, how much can you do to be assimilated in the local culture, but also in the community, any community initiatives? So, yeah, it's been really nice to kind of go through that journey. And the church that I go to, even volunteering at the church has been like something that I've wanted to do, but I've never had a home church for a while. So I'm excited, with the media stuff and the graphics to just like go back to like my old school hobbies of like graphic design and just contribute in that capacity. Yeah, so that's Bangkok. And I'm gonna throw one more in, which is Vietnam. Vietnam and Da Nang specifically are becoming like the hotspots for expats. And I think what's cool is you have options no matter where you choose. Like there is no worst case scenario because you have to come with this open mind and be flexible um to be flexible to your process and your journey. Don't look at one person's experience as like this is how it will go for everyone, but rather take it into context of like, okay, on the spectrum of how things could go, this is the good side, this is the bad side. You know, I'm going to be sprinkled in between. Chiang Mai in Thailand as well is another place where over the last 10 years, it probably got overcrowded by expats. And so it's lost its appeal. Where in the past I might have like really desired to live in Chiang Mai, but now I don't see that, even though we do have an event that we're hosting there later this year. It'll be interesting actually if I have a change of mind, having going to visit after 10 years of not being there. Anyways, I hope this was helpful, inspiring, enlightening for anyone that is trying to search for a place that can kind of be an in-between spot. You don't have to move or live anywhere permanently. In fact, I don't, and I don't want that for my life. I want to always be able to hop around. And I love being able to come back to a place with more appreciation because I've taken time away. So living between Europe and Asia right now is like the best of both worlds. It gives me freedom, flexibility, rest, creativity, inspiration, motivation. And I just kind of go back and forth. So it's been fun kind of figuring out my flow. And even taking time to solo travel is important, whether you're partnered or not. I think staying who you are, staying grounded in your independence and own uniqueness and freedom and flexibility is a part of my own self-love journey. So it's been helpful. Okay. Uh, Tomorrow we'll probably be back to business questions, but I wanted to throw this in for anyone who is just looking for a different way to exist. So again, in the video description, I'll drop my Preply link for 70% off your first language lesson, as well as globgraphics.bio, my digital product suite, which is on sale all month for anyone who is trying to lock in and get their lives together in these last 100 days of the year. I'm already prepping for 2026 now. Like a lot of this mastermind is going to be prepping for doing the work beforehand so that January we can like coast and take off. I love doing that because, the holidays are coming up. I'm going to be taking, like, we're going to be taking Stefan and I like 2 months off of the company. So it'll be nice to just exist. Uh, yeah. So check out, oh, yeah, these are, I can't. Okay, well, I'm just going to do this side, but there's something here that you can press. Check it out, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.